So I was recently asked a question, which I have probably been asked 500,000 or 600,000 times while I've had this job. And the question was, how do you teach sexuality? Like, what does that look like inside a group, inside an online course? Like, what is that? How do you teach sexuality? And my answer to that question is really simple. I don't. There was a time that I was teaching sexual techniques, ways of controlling ejaculation, different kinds of orgasms, all of this kind of study. And what I found in myself and in my students was that there were issues that was not doing anything for. That it was simply not addressing the real root of the dissatisfaction that people are experiencing. Sex is a meeting, and in order for there to be a meeting, we need to have some level of acceptance with who it is that we are bringing to the table to be met. And when we don't, we perform. And when we perform, we pull the truth of ourselves back. We hold stuff back, we put stuff forward. And when we study sometimes sexual technique without studying our insecurities and our relationship to our body, relationship to the masculine and the feminine, our relationship to sex, cognitively, we are often compensating with performance. We show up in the way that we think that we're supposed to show up. We do. And we do not be. And this causes great frustration, often unnamed frustration, uncognized frustration. And so the way that I have understood that's more productive to work with what might be called sexual dysfunction is to treat the cause, to look at what we believe, why we believe it, what we feel, why we feel it, the patterns we recreate, why we recreate them. Because all of these things are a barrier between me and my partner. They are all preventing me from being myself in that moment, from being free, from doing the thing that I'm wanting to do, from being what my essence wants to be. And so putting technique on top of that just adds in another layer of performance. So we were trained by Disney movies and porn and whatever else, what relating looks like. And we try to live up to that. And now we're going to be told by Tantra what sexual interaction looks like. And we're going to try to live up to that. And it's just another layer that exists between my spontaneous, real, true being and being met by the outside force. So the way that I teach sexuality, and I certainly wouldn't call it that, is by examining what is stopping me from engaging. What do I believe is going to happen? What do I feel about this? Instead of just trying to get techniques that make me better at it so I feel adequate and I feel good enough. Because why don't I feel adequate and why don't I feel good enough? There's nothing wrong with learning about my body. There's nothing wrong with learning about techniques, but we're so often using that to compensate for something. And for me, the question is not of teaching ourselves to do something that we already in our essence know what to do. It's about examining what's stopping us from doing that. It's like putting a tiger in a cage and trying to teach the tiger how to tiger, as if it were in the wild, without considering the cage. And so what we do in the work that I give is consider the cage, because the tiger does not need to be taught how to tiger. Just let it out of the cage. So I will be giving a workshop on this, a little free guy in a couple of weeks. If you're interested, you can DM me and get on my mailing list. Okay, thanks for listening.